When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
The Subaru Share the Love event is on from November 20th to January 2nd. For 18 years, Subaru and its retailers have supported over 2,700 local charities through the Share the Love event. When you purchase or lease a new vehicle during the 2025 Subaru Share the Love event, Subaru and its retailers will make a minimum $300 donation to charity. Visit Subaru.com/share to learn more.
So you unhooked your TV from your wall.
Yes.
You're mounting to bring it to him because apparently he would spontaneously combust if he couldn't play video games for 48 hours.
This is the plaintiff, Kevin Lockhart. He says he loaned his high-definition TV to the defendant so he could play a new video game he bought. The guy broke his TV and now won't pay him for it. The defendant needs to be taught a stern lesson that you can't go around treating people like they don't matter in life, and that's why he's suing for the $400 he's owed. This is the defendant, Michael Mowry. He says the plaintiff must be crazy or something because he bought the guy's TV, paid for it in full and in cash. A few weeks later, the plaintiff called him and asked to borrow some money for a new tattoo he wanted. When he told the plaintiff he was tapped out, he told him he was going to sue him in court for the TV. And here they are. He's accused of being a real boob over a tube.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Mr. Lockhart, you are suing your former friend, Mr. Mowry, for $400 for the value of a TV and an Xbox controller that, according to you, you rented to him and he has not repaid you for, has kept. Okay, tell me what's going on.
What happened is around the time of September 17th, I brought him the TV.
What
because
TV?
I brought him a 40-inch HD TV. It was mine.
A flat screen?
Yeah.
That had been where?
In my room. I have a picture.
Hooked up on a wall?
Yeah.
Why did you bring him the TV?
He was going to be getting a new TV in a few days, a better one. And so I brought it to him so that in the meantime, he could have a good TV to play
For
Xbox
2
on.
days?
For a few days, yeah.
Because he needed a good TV to play his Xbox for 2 days. So you unhooked your TV from your wall.
Yes.
You're mounting to bring it to him because apparently he would spontaneously combust if he couldn't play video games for 48 hours.
It didn't really matter that much being friends with him at the time. So if he needed a TV, that was fine.
Why did he just come to your house and use your TV?
He lives like 20 minutes away.
So it's less effort for a TV to travel those 20 minutes, be unhooked from the wall, transported to where he lives, and hooked onto his wall than it is for his little body to move?
Yeah.
I mean, do you realize how strange it sounds?
Okay. All right. That's
no,
fine.
but right? Do you?
Well, can I go through the timeline? So what happened is around September 17th, I brought him the TV. It was because he was going to be getting a new TV, a better one.
That's a reason not to bring him a TV.
Right. I don't really like playing TV. I don't like playing Xbox or PlayStation. I don't really like using the TV too much. And so to get rid of it for a couple of days was fine by me.
All right, go ahead.
About a week later, he said that he broke it, and he was paying $220 to get it fixed through the company.
How did he say that to you?
He said...
Verbally or through text or email?
Verbally. He told me it broke. We were hanging out. He told me that it broke, but it's okay because he sent it away. The following week after that, he told me that he sent it away and that it was $120, and so that's when things didn't really start to add up. Anyway, a week later,
That's when things didn't start adding up?
So a week later, I needed money, so I insisted that he pays me. And he told me, he texted me and said he's not going to pay my way in life.
Pay you what, though?
I told him at least $200 off the bat.
For what?
For the TV. I said, if you break this TV, you're going to be paying me at least $200 off the bat.
Okay.
And he set it up precariously. And I told him, I said, that is set up in not a great way. And so he moved it, but he actually moved it into a more
How old are you?
risky situation. 22.
How old are you?
20.
What do you guys do all day?
I work for Sprint.
You work where?
Sprint.
How about you?
Art-related stuff. I tattoo at a shop in upstate.
Okay, so you tell him, look, you broke my TV. I don't have a TV. You've kept it a long time. I want $200. And he says?
He told me he's not going to pay my way in life.
Not going to pay your what?
Pay my way in life.
Pay your way in life. What's going on?
Okay. So what had actually happened was there was an agreement because he needed some money for tattoo equipment that I would pay him $120 when he did bring over the TV, which was paid to him at the time of purchase when he brought the TV to me. Now, he told when he brought me the TV, wasn't completely working, didn't even have a base, so I had to set it up myself with I have a stool that I propped it up on because it's not even fully, and as soon as I did
It's not even fully what?
it doesn't have a base to like stand up on, so I had to stand it up myself. Didn't have a base, and the digitizers.
Because it hangs on a wall.
But he couldn't bring over the wall base that he has at his house. So, and then when he did bring it, he told me that the
Are you people just stoned all day? Is that it? Seriously, because you don't have a brain between the two of you. It's really strange. So go on. Let me hear your version.
I paid him $120 for the TV. He was very thankful at the time. He was able to get his new equipment and everything else. As well as previously before that, I bought an Xbox 360 for him with the controller, with the cords and everything
You
else.
bought an Xbox 360 from him or for him?
From him. For
How much did you pay for the Xbox?
$120.
So you paid him $240?
$240 altogether.
And on different days?
On different days. One was for the Xbox, and then one was for the TV.
Do you have any proof that you paid him that money?
No, I do not.
Okay, you people never do anything in person. You do everything by text. Your generation, is there not one single text or email on this topic?
No.
Okay, go on.
So I paid him the $120, and then TV actually did end up having an incident with the digitizer. Now, I didn't end up sending it away. I brought it to somebody, one of the technicians that works in my company, because it's a Samsung TV. He knew what he needed to do to fix it. Got it fixed. Everything was all right. About a couple months later, or not a couple months, in November, he asked me about, because originally the plan was to rent the TV, if I could pay up to $200. Okay. Now, when he came over, he said, if you could give me a set increment right now, I would take that and just, that was it.
So the plan originally was to rent the TV. That is fascinating.
Yes.
And
But
at
it was
what,
not
at
on
how much? I can't believe you said that. At what amount?
$20 a week. There was no 2-day limit. I don't know where that came from. It was going to be $20 a week.
So it was going to be $20 a week.
Until it got to $200, unless I could pay him a bigger increment at one time, which I told him I got $120 right now. If you could take that. And at that time, he by all means left the TV,
Oh my God, you
took
really
the
rented the TV.
$120.
It just never ceases.
No, that's new. We've been a while together for a while now.
Yeah, have you ever heard of anything like this?
That's new. How about that?
So you actually rented a TV?
No, I purchased it from him for a set increment because.
Why should I believe that? Now that I know that you're the kind of guy who would rent a TV for $20 a week, and that was the agreement, why would I believe that you gave him the $120? You deny it that he gave you $120, right?
If I received money, I wouldn't have filed a civil suit.
So you rent the TV for $20, and then at some point, I guess you guys can't decide what the TV's actually worth because you've kept it all this time.
The same day that I had agreed to rent it.
Why would you rent it if you did not have a TV in your future? Why wouldn't you just go buy a TV if you had $120 on you?
Because the idea.
Wait another week, save a little more money, and buy a pretty good TV.
Because the deal that we had reached was I'd pay him $20 a week up until $200.
See, you sound to me like a guy who only has $20. You don't sound to me like a guy who has 120. Because if you had 120, you'd wait another week and buy a TV on sale. So I feel like I'm in Alice in Wonderland right now.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Would you sell your stuff like a television set to a good? Are you guys friends? Would you? Oh, your daughter. Well, then that doesn't count. Would you sell to a good friend?
No, I would not.
Why?
Well, I could just lose a friend and I don't want to.
Oh, can I just say, wait, we got to take it just 1 second. You guys, that's your mother? Boy, you got good genes. You're gonna be good in 30 years, I'll tell you. What do you think?
I wouldn't, because then I would be reliable if something bad happens.
Fair
So
enough. Okay, you're waving. Would you sell to a friend?
Yes, of course. I would if they develop that kind of trust with me. I would.
Yeah, well, guess how you get trust broken? Going inside the courtroom.
So I had agreed to pay him $120 at the time of purchase to just, call it at that. He was very thankful at the time. He was able to get the equipment he needed. Now, a few weeks in November, I was working at Sprint when I received a text message from him saying that, I'm really short on cash. Would you be able to help me out? I did help you out with that TV at the time of purchase. And then he was like, I could take you to small claims over that. When he did say that, I said, by all means, if that's what you want to do.
Is all this in texting?
Yes.
Can I see your phones? Just open it up and get it to
Verizon rewrote the data.
Do you
at
have
the
the
end of
text
year.
you're talking about, yes or no?
No.
I'm a guess. Where's the TV?
In my house.
Did you ever buy another TV?
No, because I would have had I bought
Why
the
would
one
you
from
need
him.
to?
Yes.
You're renting this one and all you ever paid was $20.
I paid $120.
I never received any money.
When did you guys stop hanging out?
About maybe 2 weeks afterwards, when I realized that he was trying to burn me.
I would say the middle of October, once my work schedule got a little bit more treacherous.
That's right.
What about the Xbox controller? You paid $120 for his used Xbox controller?
No, for the whole device, the whole system itself with the cords and the controller. And I actually did have to buy a cord for myself with that. Paid $120.
And according to you, that didn't happen either?
I brought the controller over. It was a wireless controller. I brought it over with the TV. It was a bad idea.
I have no idea what happened. The only thing I know is that the original plan was a rental of the TV, which has me aghast. It was so strange. It didn't sound truthful. Grand Theft Auto 5. It just had to be played. Just had to be played at that moment. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I have bad friends.
It's not
That was
matter,
what the
friends.
problem was.
Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. I've been around the block way too many years to think that you are just, this was your community service. This was you being good to a person in need. Do you think I'm stupid? What did you need that $20 for so desperately?
Weed.
Exactly. Exactly. Is your mama watching?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I mean, come on. Is this where you saw yourself when you were planning your life?
My life is fine. It's.
Not when you need it so bad that you have to let your TV go.
I make good money now.
It wasn't about the money. It's about the desperation and the lack of judgment, which is profound. It's about that you see yourself in such a desperate situation that you have to do such a disgraceful thing, such a silly thing.
I wasn't desperate. I just wanted a TV.
Yeah. All righty. How long did you have the TV?
I've had it for a couple of years.
How long is a couple of years?
2.
Okay. I'm going to order the defendant to pay the plaintiff $250 in a random act of rough justice.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, outstanding. What are you thinking coming out of here?
I think it's a good ruling. I think whatever justice she decided was fair.
Mm-hmm.
No, and realize I just can't deal with this kid anymore. That's what I get out of this.
Wait a minute, you guys were friends for a long time, right?
We were friends for a long time.
Mm-hmm. So what changed?
His desperation for weed money, as he said right in the case.
Mm-hmm. All right. You head right down this way, and what do you make of all this?
A lot of that was just made up. He's a phone salesman at a kiosk at the mall, and so what he does all day is actually convince people of things that aren't necessarily true.
So he's a good liar or a good salesman or what?
Yeah, he's kind of a pathological liar,
mm-hmm.
and so.
And how about what you revealed about yourself in there?
I like to smoke, yeah. Yeah, I'm an artist.
Oh, okay. Harvey?
So, Kurt, the judgment is based on the market value at the time of the loss, not the replacement value. $250 is more than fair. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that chew, too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high-quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
In Walmart Sue Louisville, time was ticking away. Only a few nights left till the big holiday. But last-minute gifters had no need to worry. Walmart Express Delivery got their gifts in a hurry. From Nintendo to Nespresso and Lego flowers, they could check off their lists in as fast as an hour. All of Who'Newville, East, West, South, and North could order gifts up until 5 p.m. on December 24th. So this holiday, just do as the Who's do. With gift delivery this fast, they all gasped. From Walmart, who knew? Subject to availability, terms and fees apply.
These are the plaintiffs, Matthew Whitty and Caitlin Kevaney. Caitlin says they purchased a sick puppy from the defendant, returned it a few days later, and was never given their refund. The defendants actually accused them of abusing the puppy and are refusing to return the purchase price. For the record, they love dogs, would never harm an animal, and just want the $950 they paid returned because the dog was unfit for sale. These are the defendants, Joanne Carlozzi Morial and Frank Morial. Joanne says the pup she sold the plaintiffs was in perfect health when it left her home. She thinks the puppy was dropped and injured, and now they're demanding their money back. The plaintiffs inflicted harm on this poor pup. She had to be put down, and there's no way they're returning a penny to the careless, dog-harming plaintiffs. They're accused of selling a puppy in poor health.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiffs bought a puppy that turned out to be sick, returned it to the defendant, but didn't get their money back. Now, the defendant says that the plaintiffs abused the dog. It's the case of one sick puppy.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Matthew Whitty and Caitlin Kevaney?
Yes.
All right, you're suing Joanne Carlozzi Moriali and Frank Moriali? All right, for $950, the cost of a puppy that you bought from them that you had to return because it was having seizures. What happened?
We found out through a friend of a friend that Joanne was having a litter of Yorkies, and we were very interested in getting one. So we purchased a Yorkie from Joanne and took her home on December 20th. And it was perfect. We had a great Christmas with the little puppy. We named her Gemma. We took her to our vet the very next day after we picked her up from Joanne's house, and she was fine, perfect.
Do you have
health.
the vet records from that day?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You picked her up on the 20th and took her?
We took her home on the 20th.
On the 20th, and then the 21st you took her to the vet?
Yes.
Yes. It's right at the top.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
So everything's fine, and then when do things become not fine, indeed?
So on the Saturday, the 28th, we noticed that she started shaking in the morning. So we called our vet because we knew that they were going to be open. The vet said, bring her on down. And the vet said it potentially could have hyperglycemia, which is very common in small breed dogs. So he said that we should just monitor her. They did blood work just to ensure to see what the blood levels were. But where we had fed her in the morning, the blood medical test wouldn't be accurate. So he said you'd have to just monitor her and bring her back, but you'd have to go through a fasting so they could get a true record of the glucose levels in her blood. But he said take her home. She was not presenting anything in the office at that time. So we took her home, and her condition just worsened, and she kept having seizures.
Throughout the night?
Throughout the whole day. So this was in the morning we took her to the vet.
Throughout the day?
Throughout the day, she was losing her bowels, foaming at the mouth. It was just horrifying to see full body, seizures.
So did you take her back?
So I called the vet back, and I said, oh my gosh, it's really getting bad. I'm not really sure what to do. And he said, clearly this is way more than hyperglycemia. You should contact the breeder because maybe there's something that they know about or, something that they've dealt with. So I called Joanne, the breeder, and I said, I know this puppy's really sick, and we agreed to meet, and I was going to return the puppy. So we met that evening on the 28th.
Okay, the same day that you had taken the dog in.
Yes, because the condition just worsened so dramatically.
Right.
But Joanne agreed to meet us, and when we talked to her on the phone, I said, we have to return this dog. I had lost a puppy in the fall, not a puppy, my dog for 5 years, and I just couldn't go through a medical issue with the dog, and where our vet said it really was more than hypoglycemia, I couldn't take that on. But as we gave the puppy to Joanne the day of the 28th, I had written up a document saying we purchased and we're returning the dog for medical reasons, and she signed it, agreeing that she was going to give us our money back.
May I see that? Tell me what's going on.
Okay, first of all, her first seizure was not on a Saturday. It was on the Thursday, 2 days prior. She had small seizures. And then that's what she had told us. And then they didn't take it to the vet until Saturday after so many seizures. And I asked
What
her...
evidence do you have of what you just said? Because watch this. Hold on one second. Did you watch the dog go through seizures for 3 days without giving it medical?
Absolutely not.
Okay, stop and listen to me. Now I need you to prove what you're saying. So just prove it to me.
It was via the phone call after all this went down and they wanted their money back. The story come out that on Tuesday, prior to Christmas, she had a small baby seizures that lasted 2 seconds. Then on Thursday, it supposedly had more seizures. So not till Saturday did they take it to the vet. The vet checked it out and said it was okay. Then on the way home from the vet, it began having more seizures. So rather than go back to the vet, they decided to call Joanne and say, come and get this puppy. Now, Joanne's upset because it was the baby of the litter, and she was crying. She brought her daughter down there, and they would not give her, she wanted to take it to the hospital. They wouldn't give it to her until she signed. They forced her to sign the thing. So she had signed the thing.
Were you there?
He was not, but I got a statement.
Can I hear from you?
Yeah, I say exactly what he said. I was mad. I had said to them, what is wrong with you? Why didn't the vet keep it? I called my vet and I said, if this has happened, what would you have done? He goes, we would have kept the dog if it was having seizures. You don't let a dog with seizures go home.
What happened with the dog? Where's the dog?
It passed away.
What did the dog pass away from?
Is it dicey to buy from a breeder? There are lots of stories about inbreeding and whatnot.
I think if you go to a reputable breeder, it's still a good deal. If you want the dog that...
Anybody have an issue with breeders? Just the overbreeding and the mills and whatnot?
I wouldn't go to like a private one. I go to a corporation to make sure it's safe, because they could easily do it.
This guy's going to buy a dog from McDonald's going inside the courtroom.
This is all hypothetical. The vet that we talked to that was on call that night said that the puppy had water on its brain, and it was either a number of different things that could have caused the problem. You want me to go into that?
What? Probably not, because you probably don't have a stitch of evidence for anything.
We
that you're
don't,
about
just
to tell
from what she had told us.
Right, so please explain to me, though. Let's just tell me what your theory on this is. You shouldn't hold me to the settlement I arrived and signed with them because it was under duress.
Yes,
and I shouldn't have to refund their money despite the fact that the dog is this sick, because what?
Because she let it go for a couple days, took it to her vet. She just said
she says she didn't. So now I need you to prove that she let it go for 5 days, like your husband's saying.
All right, she's saying that, but...
Well, I understand, but if you're saying that...
No.
I just need proof of what you're saying. Just show me where you got this from.
My daughter has a...
Your daughter's not here for me to cross-examine.
I have her statement, though. She talked to her. She was the one who talked to her in the car before we got the dog. And she told Angie everything.
Right, and she's going to say that your daughter has it wrong, and your daughter isn't here. It's a piece of paper, but I'm happy to look at it. Go ahead.
She said she started her seizures on Thursday. That's what happened, but she's going to say no, right?
Of course, but hold on. And not only that, but let me just tell you that what she told the vet before everything hit the fan.
Yeah.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
So this is what we can trust, because this is before she's thinking of returning a dog. She just wants to save her dog's life. Seizures started this morning. That's what she told the vet. So do you understand how unlikely what you're saying? I just want you to listen to me.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I need you to just wait, and I need you, because everybody's very upset, and I understand because it's a beautiful little dog.
Yes.
It's a beautiful little dog.
Yes. She shouldn't have died. No.
And it's a shame that she died and everything else. What we're talking about is, do you have to refund the money or not? Wouldn't this be reliable?
Okay, can I mention something?
First, you're going to answer me?
Yeah, that's true. Okay. But why didn't her vet keep it? Why didn't she have the vet keep it? My dog is having seizures. It's my new puppy. I take it to the vet. It's having seizures. Okay, thank you.
I don't know. What was your vet able to do with the whole seizure incident? Not a damn thing.
Oh, they did emergency. They put her in C-section. They gave
It wasn't our doctor.
How did it help?
Emergency. It was the emergency hospital.
Right. Did it help?
No. It didn't help.
How much are you out? How much are you out as a result of all of the efforts to save?
$1,000 that night at the.
That was more than that. It was $1,900. You said, right? 1,900.
No. It was $1,000 at the emergency room.
Her pregnancy was $2,000, our dog, when
she had the C-section.
But the whole thing is she had substantially a lot of seizures, because when my niece took her in the car, because I was in the car, she was out of it. She was drooling. She had had many seizures.
Okay.
You just don't have a seizure and the
Among
doctor
the many
lets
things
her
you've
go.
said is that you think they dropped the dog.
We don't know.
Okay. Do you have any medical evidence that they did something to the dog?
Nothing that they did
I don't
to
have
the
any
dog.
medical evidence
or
that they
nothing
did
that
something
we
to
did.
the dog, but if they want their money back for the pet, according to Massachusetts state law, under the Lemon Law, they had 2 days to get a note from their vet showing that the dog was diseased.
Show me what you just said.
I did.
It's
I
a
read it
lemon-
on
oh.
the computer.
The lemon
It's
law.
not 2 days. You're wrong. It's not 2 days.
It's not 2 days? What is
No.
it?
You can
I have
read
the
it.
lemon law written. It's 14
Right.
days.
It's not 2 days.
If you want to see the
She
actual.
cut some out. So.
How do you know she cut
Because
some
we
out?
looked at it as that she gave us.
It's towards the bottom. It's a bullet.
Frankie, you have
What do you want?
something saying
I
that.
don't have anything saying that.
No. What it is? No. It's the same as it is in most states, which it gives you several weeks.
No, but about the Cape Cod paperwork that she wasn't diseased.
No, I want you folks to listen to me. I know this is special to you because it affects you, because it affects all your pockets and it affects a dog that you love.
It's not
but it
the
is
money to
very
me.
run-of-the-mill. This is a contracts case. You sold her a dog, the dog died. She couldn't keep the dog. And you promised and signed something saying that you'd refund her money, and then you didn't. And that's not duress. Duress is somebody puts a gun to your head
No,
or threatens to harm your
she
child.
wouldn't hand the
This
dog
is not
over.
duress. Legal duress is a very different animal.
I understand.
Okay? And it's emotional. I understand that. That doesn't mean that you're not bound by it. My verdict in this case is for the plaintiffs in the amount of the $950.
That's wrong.
All right, well, she doesn't look very happy coming out here. Of course not, after losing this battle in this case. Stand right next to her. What's going through your mind here?
She started her seizures on Thursday. They apparently lied. She told me on the phone she started small seizures on Thursday, and if she had it treated, my dog wouldn't be dead today, and I wouldn't have had to put her down.
You realize this boiled down to a contract case. It's a contract you
because
sign
they
and then you're
held the
stuck
dog at bay
with.
until I signed it so I could rush it over to the Cape Cod Hospital.
All right. All right, head right down this way.
All right, guys.
So you get what you sued for. How are you feeling coming out?
I'm feeling happy for the, I feel obviously very devastated for the fact that we had to go through this with the dog, beautiful dog, but it was truly, a natural born illness, and it should not have died. In a
How much do you miss this dog now?
A lot. She was a real little honey. She was really cute, and she was, we loved her even though we only had her a week.
Sad. Harvey?
You know, a lot of people think, oh, I didn't have a choice, I had to sign it. Guess what? Unless there's a gun to your head, you have a choice, and duress doesn't work. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
This is the plaintiff, Louis Manfredi. He says a neighbor of his deceased mother stole an antique rototiller, which is used for digging up rocks and earth, and sold it for scrap metal. The guy got $40 for it, and when the rototiller was new, it cost $3,400. He went to the cops to report the theft, and now owes him big time. He's suing for $500, the estimated value of his stolen property. This is the defendant, Christopher Davis. He says the plaintiff is his fiancé's uncle, and his fiancé's grandfather, the owner of the rototiller, told him he could have it and anything else he wanted in the garage. Once the plaintiff found out, he took the thing. The guy demanded $4,000, the cost of a brand new rototiller. Bottom line, he had permission to sell the rototiller for scrap metal, and that's just what he did. He's accused of breaking and entering.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says a neighbor of his deceased mother stole a rototiller, but the defendant says it's rightfully his. It's the case of going roto to toe.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Louis Manfredi.
Yes.
You are suing Christopher Davis for $500, the value of a rototiller that you say he inappropriately removed from your mother's property?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what's going on?
Around late June, my brother called me and asked me if
I knew where the rototiller and his motor
What's
went.
a rototiller?
It's, it tills up soil so you can plant.
Okay, but this is something that you claim cost $3,400 in 1940?
Originally, it cost $3,400. Online, I got a copy of.
Do you have a picture of one?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay,
Your Honor.
excellent, because what I'm thinking in my head can't possibly cost that.
Right here.
Thank you.
It was made in the 1940s, Your Honor. It's all gear-driven. It's not something that just falls apart in a few
Okay.
years.
Okay, where's the most expensive one you can find? Like, I'm trying to figure out how that could possibly be worth $3,400, which is one of the things you say in your complaint.
An original parts book, I had it, but I don't have it with me, Your Honor.
You don't have any proof
No.
that it cost? Okay.
I just went online to see what they would be valued at today.
Well, it's
They
substantially
don't-
less than.
They don't
okay.
make them anymore.
Okay, and why don't they make them anymore?
The business, our company just went out of business.
Okay.
But you could always have them rebuilt. And to buy a rebuilt one back in 1985 was $3,400.
Okay.
If you can find them online,
Do you
like I
have?
said.
But you don't have any evidence of that.
No.
All right. So what happens? Your brother calls you. Your mom
And-
passed away.
Before, yes, she
Okay.
passed away.
And then-
she's been on the property for 95 years. So
How old was your mother when
she was 95 when
God
she passed
bless her. Her entire life in
Yes,
one house.
and she went into a nursing home and died about a month after.
Oh, poor thing.
So,
So your brother, I guess when the house is being dismantled or whatever, your brother calls.
well, everybody was up there at least once a week when she was home. So for like the last month, we haven't been up there. And he went up there and he said, your rototiller is missing. The rototiller's been there for at least 20 years. So I asked around the neighborhood, and I found out Mr. Davis was into scrapping. So I checked scrap yards both in Rhode Island and Connecticut and found out that it was scrapped in Rhode Island. Then I tried making contact Mr. Davis, and I told him I wanted the rototiller back.
When you called him, did you tell him who you were, why you were calling, ask him any
He seemed
questions?
to know what I was there for.
Okay, so you.
I talked to him about the rototiller. I told him what.
He is
was-
a neighbor of your mother's?
Yes, he's, his girlfriend is renting the neighbor's house.
Okay.
It was her grandfather's house.
So you asked him, did you take the rototiller?
I said, did you take the rototiller?
And he says,
Yes, he took the rototiller. He got $40 for it.
did he tell you why he took the rototiller?
That he was told that he could take it.
By whom?
He told me Steve Johnson was one of them.
And who's Steve Johnson?
He's my nephew. He lives at property next to my mother.
Okay, and so he tells you, hey, your nephew told me that I could take whatever I wanted and scrap it.
Actually, in the police report, it states that he told Officer Rataco that Steve Johnson said he could take it.
Right.
Officer Rataco said he questioned Steve Johnson, and he told him that he didn't tell him he could take it.
Do you have the police reports? Let me see
Yes,
them.
sir. Yes, Your
And
Honor.
why did you take the did you take the rototiller?
I did take the
Okay,
rototiller,
who gave you
Your Honor.
authority to take that rototiller?
The owner of the property that it was left on, I have a letter
Who's the
here.
owner of the property?
Carl Johnson,
Who is Carl Johnson to Steve Johnson?
his father.
Okay, and Carl Johnson owns that property?
Yes.
I thought your mother owned that property.
No, the property that the rototiller was left on
Wasn't
is-
your mother's property?
It was my mother's property.
No, I have a letter from the
I have,
owner of the property saying that he's left it there. They've told him on several occasions to remove it from their property, and he refused to do so. And then he gave...
You don't have that person here as a witness? That's pretty critical.
No, I can call him. He lives in Maine.
Oh.
So...
What is Carl
I have his
Johnson
cell
to you?
phone.
Any relation?
My brother-in-law.
Does anybody? This is the most incestuous little village. Everybody's related to everybody.
We own the whole neighborhood at
You
one
own the
time,
whole
Your Honor.
neighborhood. All right. So your brother-in-law.
I don't believe my brother-in-law told him that.
Okay.
Because
Can I see? You said you have an affidavit from the brother-in-law. What is his relationship to her?
He's my grandfather.
Step on up. Your grandfather, who is his brother-in-law, told your boyfriend, husband?
No, this is my fiance's sister. My fiance couldn't come today.
Told your sister's fiance that he could take the rototiller off of his property.
Yes, ma'am.
Because according to him, the rototiller's on his property.
Correct.
Do they live next to each other or something?
There's about 4 houses in the family that all have like
backyards, the same backyards. So
I know that this family does not feel like there are lines, but there are lines. So it's kind of crucial whose property it was actually on.
My grandfather had mentioned to me, and it had been there. I mean, I remember being a kid and playing in the yard and it being there. Like,
so you,
and my dad
you
would be
considered
like,
it a hunk of junk that had been just sitting there all that time.
Trees had grown around it, yes.
Your Honor.
Just a moment. Okay, this is very nice, except for that this is just a typewritten piece of paper that's not signed by anybody.
He said
I could have written this. You understand what an affidavit is? I mean, it's not just supposed to be signed, which you also could do outside right before you walk in. It's supposed to be notarized so that I know that the person who you're claiming is saying this is saying this.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I spoke with my grandfather the other day, and
that's what we call hearsay. You're going to tell me what somebody said to you?
I have his cell phone number.
Call your grandfather. Yeah.
Your
What's
Honor,
going on?
If I may.
Who are you?
My wife's
my husband. I'm Sandra, his wife. Part of the police report.
What does the police say Carl Johnson told him?
The police say, I spoke with Carl Johnson, explained the rototiller had been on his property, and he also explained that the lease was with his niece, okay? And then he said it was his granddaughter. And so my question is, if he referred to Amanda as his niece, was it Carl Johnson Jr. as opposed to the grandfather, Carl Johnson Sr.? It sounds like a little bit of a tale, and there's a police report on that.
Because he refers to her as his niece, not as his granddaughter. So you think that the Carl Johnson who the police spoke to is the wrong Carl Johnson?
Correct.
Over the phone.
That's my dad, so he wouldn't have referred to his daughter as a niece. He would have said my daughter.
Carl Johnson's your dad?
Yes.
Junior.
Right.
Carl Johnson
Carl
Jr.
Johnson Jr.
It's actually
and maybe senior. We're not quite sure.
No,
It's all right. So Carl Johnson Jr. is your dad, and Carl Johnson is your grandfather.
My dad is Carl
Who
Johnson.
talked to the police? Do you know?
I believe my grandfather did at one point. Would you really like me to call him?
Yeah, call him up right now.
Your Honor, we also have the property lines of the houses that were in question with the location indicated of where the equipment was, which shows that it was not.
Well, no,
on
you're
their
just going to
property.
draw where you say the equipment was, right? That's all you did.
Well,
You put a little X where you say the equipment was. How's that going to help me?
You can see in the aerial view, but where it was.
I have to trust your ex. Do you guys understand? This is like a hunk of junk left there 20 years. Somebody gives him permission to do something. They tell the cops they give him permission to do something. We're going to find out.
Hi, it's Ashley. Me and Chris. Hi. Me and Chris are at the courthouse right now, and the judge would like to speak with you, if that's okay for a minute. The People's Court. She just wants to make sure that you wrote the letter that we have here. And she wants to make sure that you really wrote it. All right, thank you.
He agreed.
We're good?
All right. Put him right there on speaker. Can you do that for me?
Okay.
So who's nosier? People in small towns or big towns?
I would say definitely small towns, because there are a few people, so it's easier to know each other.
Easier to know each other, maybe less likely to be nosy. What do you think? Small towns, big towns?
I think small towns.
Because?
Just to know you, see every day.
You're in everybody's business.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
I can't understand a word you
Oh, you gotta come
say.
down. I'm thinking he can hear you.
Give me 1 second. Is this better?
Yep.
Okay. Have you heard his voice? Is that the right Carl Johnson? Okay. Do we have anything to worry about, or we're fine with you?
No.
Okay. So, Mr. Johnson, we're just trying to clear up this thing about the rototiller.
Wait a minute, am I on television or something?
No, you're not on television. You're in a telephone. I'm on television. And so but I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it. I need to know if these kids had permission to sell that rototiller or not.
That rototiller was abandoned on my property 20-some years ago. When I leased the property to my granddaughter, I told it's in the lease that anything on the property that she didn't want, it was her problem to dispose of. I left furniture and everything for her when I moved away from there. And yeah, they had permission, absolutely.
Okay. Is that your brother-in-law?
Sure sounds like him.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you a question. Mr. Manfredi is complaining because he says that that's his rototiller and that it was on his mother's property. What say you to that?
I said that my wife asked him to get it off of our property years ago. I asked him to get it off of our property, and it just left there.
Okay.
He never did.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
The whole thing is a joke. That's the thing. I don't understand why he thought he was getting for it.
I think he thinks it was on his mother's property and not yours. Or at least that's how he feels now. But thank you. I appreciate you helping us out here. All right? We're going to hang up now.
Okay.
All right. So, Mr. Freddie, what am I supposed to do? I've got, certainly a colorable claim to sell it for scrap.
Well, like I said, Your Honor, the map and the aerial view of the property, it shows you where the two properties were.
The map just shows me where property is. It doesn't show me where the rototiller was.
Not the map, the aerial views. And Your Honor...
No, stop. I can see the spots because you say so. I mean, do you understand that you writing it out and saying that's where the rototiller was doesn't prove where the rototiller was, right?
Well, Your Honor, one question. How can he prove that it wasn't there?
Well, the problem is that you're the plaintiff, and you have the burden of proving that he stole your rototiller for you to get $500 for something that he sold for scrap metal for $40. All right, my verdict in this case is $40.
Yeah.
No, we're done. What could you No, you know what? I do want to see it. What else do you have?
Even, Your Honor?
Just a moment. Okay, so this is a police report that says that you and he came to an agreement that he would pay you $500.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you come to an agreement that you would pay him $500?
I told him that I would come to an agreement to pay him $500 because he kept coming to me and asking me and asking me.
And then you changed your mind?
And I finally, no, I told him, and then everybody in the family was saying, why are you going to give him $500?
Right, so you changed your mind.
When
okay,
the property...
he can change his mind. He can change his mind.
Yeah, but, Your Honor, when I first filed, I filed a police...
Mr. Manfredi, you are out of gas. I rule in favor of the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, he has no gas left, but he made it out here into the hallway, so step on in here, Mr. Manfredi, next to me here. What's your feeling on the outcome here?
I'm sort of sad that it came out the way it did. The thing I wanted to do is make sure that he knew that he couldn't just take somebody's property and dispose of it without suffering the consequences.
So what's this going to do to the whole family tree of Johnsons and Manfredis?
I know where Mr. Johnson stands right now. He just lost a good relative, let's put it that way.
You won't be at the next Thanksgiving?
No, I won't be anything around him.
All right. That's sad to hear. All right, head right down this way. All right, that man misses his old rototiller.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he takes it very seriously.
I know. I mean, I didn't want to get in trouble for doing this. I was just doing what I was told to do.
If this affects the family, does that hurt you?
It doesn't.
It bothers me that because my grandfather's not a liar. My grandfather would say if he was wrong, or say, and clearly Michael was wrong.
All right, Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, I know it sounds a little bit weird that the defendant first became obligated by his own conduct and statements and then changed his mind. The reason the defendant was allowed to change, you're allowed to change your mind, is there was no obligation to pay anything in the first place, so he's not bound by what he says.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. One of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.